different. You don't get nothing like this nowhere. Everybody moved like brothers, and then everybody from different places. Milwaukee, St. Louis, Detroit, Texas, Atlanta, Cali, you know what I'm saying, Florida. We got people from...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the life story of one of the most talked about figures in hip-hop culture and the streets. Demetrius Big Meech Flenory Sr., the mastermind behind the Black Mafia family, BMF. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment below, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories on the people who've shaped the world we live in. Now, let's get into it. Early life and family background. Demetrius Edward Flenory Sr., better known as Big Meech, was born on June 21, 1968, in Detroit, Michigan. Growing up in a working-class family, Big Meech, along with his younger brother Terry Flenory, also known as Southwest T, were exposed to the struggles and hardships of inner-city life from a young age. Their parents, Charles and Lucille Flenory, were known for their strong Christian beliefs, but the lure of fast money and street life drew their sons in a different direction. Detroit in the late 1970s and early 1980s was a hotbed for illicit activities, especially as the economic downturn in the city created a ripe environment for drug trafficking. Despite the hardships, the Flenory family maintained a close bond, with Demetrius and Terry relying on each other as they navigated their way through their early lives. Education and early hustle. Big Meech and Southwest T grew up during the rise of hip-hop and street culture, which heavily influenced their ambitions. In their early teenage years, the brothers attended Detroit public schools, but their minds were not set on traditional paths of education. By the time Big Meech was in his late teens, he and Terry had already entered the drug trade, looking to make a name for themselves beyond the struggling neighborhoods they came from. Although there isn't much public information on Big Meech's formal education, it's clear that his street education took precedence. He and Terry started small, selling cocaine on the streets of Detroit, but it didn't take long for them to develop a more organized operation. They were driven by their desire for wealth, power, and the lavish lifestyle they saw in music videos and among street legends. What began as a small-time hustle soon exploded into one of the largest drug distribution networks the United States had ever seen. The rise of the Black Mafia family, BMF. In the early 1990s, Demetrius and Terry Flenory founded the Black Mafia family, BMF, a massive drug trafficking and money laundering operation that spread across the country. By the mid-2000s, BMF had become a national empire, with operations stretching from Detroit to Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Miami. Big Meech served as the face of the organization, while Terry handled the logistics. Together, they developed one of the most sophisticated drug distribution systems in U.S. history, making hundreds of millions of dollars in the process. BMF wasn't just about drugs. The organization also ventured into the entertainment industry. BMF Entertainment, a record label started by Big Meech, was a key part of his vision for legitimacy. The label worked with prominent artists such as Young Jeezy, who was closely associated with BMF, and promoted lavish parties and events that made the BMF name famous in the hip-hop world. BMF's lifestyle became notorious for its flashiness. Big Meech and his associates were often seen driving luxury cars, wearing high-end designer clothes, and hosting extravagant parties in Atlanta's booming club scene. This lifestyle made BMF popular in rap lyrics and culture, but it also caught the attention of law enforcement. The downfall, arrest, and imprisonment. By the early 2000s, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, had its sights set on BMF. The sheer scale of the organization's operations, smuggling cocaine in multi-kilogram quantities across the U.S., had made them a primary target for law enforcement. In 2005, after years of investigation, the Flenory brothers were arrested and charged with running a continuing criminal enterprise, CC. In 2007, both Demetrius and Terry were sentenced to 30 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to the charges. Big Meech's arrest was a huge blow to BMF. The extravagant lifestyle that had once defined him was gone, and the organization's assets were seized by the government. The downfall of BMF served as a major turning point in the drug trade across the U.S., as it represented the end of an era for the flamboyant street kingpins who had previously dominated the scene. Personal life, family, and relationships. While Big Meech is a legendary figure in the streets, he's also a father. His son, Demetrius Lil Meech Flenory Jr., was born in 2000. Lil Meech is following in his father's footsteps, not in the drug world, but in entertainment. He plays the role of his father in the Starz television series, BMF, produced by 50 Cent, which chronicles the rise and fall of the Black Mafia family. The series has brought renewed interest in Big Meech's story and reintroduced him to a new generation. In terms of his romantic life, Big Meech's personal relationships have been kept mostly private, though it's known that he had several romantic partners over the years. He has not been publicly known to be married, but his influence in both the criminal and entertainment worlds has been significant. Life in prison and efforts for release. During his time in prison, Big Meech kept a relatively low profile, focusing on his legal battles and working on reducing his sentence. His brother Terry was released in 2020 due to concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic, but Big Meech wasn't as fortunate initially. However, after years of legal efforts, Big Meech was able to secure a sentence reduction. In 2021, a federal judge reduced his sentence by 6 years due to changes in sentencing guidelines and his good behavior while incarcerated. Originally slated to be released in 2032, his new release date is set for 2026. But on October 16, 2024, Big Meech transferred to a halfway house. Despite being behind bars, Big Meech continued to maintain a strong presence in the streets and in hip-hop culture, with many artists and figures paying homage to his legacy. The lifestyle, lavish living, cars and houses. At the height of BMF's success, Big Meech lived a life of unimaginable luxury. He was known for his penchant for high-end fashion, sporting brands like Gucci, Versace, and Louis Vuitton. His parties were legendary, and he was known to spend lavishly on alcohol, women, and anything that screamed opulence. Meech had a collection of luxury cars, including Bentleys, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis, which were often seen on the streets of Atlanta. Demetrius Big Meech Flenory Sr.'s homes in Atlanta and Miami were the epitome of luxury. His Atlanta mansion boasted sprawling interiors, featuring high ceilings, marble floors, and opulent decor, complete with an indoor pool and state-of-the-art security systems. In Miami, his waterfront estate offered breathtaking ocean views, private docks, and expansive outdoor living spaces, including pools and lush gardens. Both properties were filled with custom furnishings, high-end electronics, and entertainment amenities, reflecting his extravagant lifestyle as the head of BMF, where luxury cars often lined the driveways of these stunning residences. Net worth at the peak. Estimating Big Meech's net worth is difficult due to the clandestine nature of his operations and the subsequent government seizures. However, at the height of BMF's success, it's believed that Big Meech's net worth was estimated to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. The organization was generating tens of millions of dollars per year through its drug trade, and while much of that money was spent or seized, Meech's empire left an indelible mark on American culture. Legacy and cultural impact. Demetrius Big Meech Flenory's life is one of legend, a tale of rags to riches, a meteoric rise, followed by a dramatic fall. His influence in hip-hop culture remains strong, with artists continually referencing him in their lyrics, and his story being told in shows like BMF on Starz. Though his empire collapsed, Big Meech's legacy as a street icon and businessman lives on. As the years pass, and with his reduced prison sentence, there's growing speculation about what Big Meech will do when he's released. Will he return to the streets? Or will he take a different path, perhaps building on his legacy in the entertainment industry? Whatever the future holds, Big Meech's story is far from over. That's a wrap on the life and legacy of Demetrius Big Meech Flenory Sr. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time.